As part of the urban greening grant application, applicants must quantify their project's net GHG reduction using the Urban Greening Quantification Methodology, or QM, developed by the Air Resources Board. Over the course of the next few minutes, I'll provide a brief introduction to the methodology and the available tools. The Air Resources Board developed 2 QM tools to aid applicants in determining their project's net GHG benefit. The Urban Greening Quantification Methodology, which is a PDF document, and the Urban Greening GHG Emission Reduction Calculator. A link to these tools is found on page 2 and Appendix B in the grant guidelines. Using these tools, applicants should follow 4 steps to determine their project's net GHG benefit. Step 1. Identify the project activities for the project. Step 2. Determine and enter the project-specific information needed for the CTCC or iTrees. Step 3. Determine and enter the project-specific information needed for reduced vehicle miles traveled. And Step 4. Estimate the net GHG benefit. Step 1. Identify the project activities for the project. Each project eligible for funding must include at least one of the following quantifiable project activities: sequester and store carbon by planting trees, reduce building energy use from strategically planting trees to shade buildings, and reduce commute vehicle miles traveled by constructing bicycle paths, bicycle lanes, or pedestrian facilities that provide safe routes for travel between residences, workplaces, commercial centers, and schools. Review your project and identify which of the 3 project activities are applicable. Other project features may be eligible for funding, however, each project must include at least one of these activities. Step 2. Determine and enter the project-specific information needed for the CTCC or iTrees streets. If your project includes tree planting, whether to sequester and store carbon or to reduce building energy, applicants must use one of 2 external tools to calculate the GHG benefit of the project. The first tool is the Center for Urban Forest Research Tree Carbon Calculator, or CTCC. And the second tool is the U.S. Forest Service's iTrees software, iTrees Streets. Applicants can choose either tool to complete the calculation, but only one can be used. On the screen is the CTCC tool. A link to the tool can be found in the QM and an Appendix B in the guidelines. In order to complete the calculation for sequestering and storing carbon, applicants need to provide the following information: the climate zone, the tree species being planted, the age of the tree, and the tree azimuth or angle of the tree. If the project includes reducing building energy use, applicants will also need to add the following: the tree distance from an air-conditioned or heated building, the type of heating and cooling system in the building, and the age of the building. On the screen is a completed CTCC with project-specific information and defaults provided in Air Resources Board's QM. Pull up the Urban Greening GHG Emission Reduction Calculator and go to the tab titled Carbon and Energy Saving CTCC. On this tab, you will enter in your project-specific information from the CTCC spreadsheet previously calculated. On the screen is a completed entry into the calculator for one species of a project. Here you will note the quantity of trees being planted was entered, as well as the carbon stored and the energy reduction savings. The second tool available for tree planting projects is iTrees Streets. Visit www.itreetools.org to create an account and download the software package. Once downloaded, open the iTrees Streets file and follow the instructions in the quantification methodology. Go to File, Open, New Project. You're going to click Specify, Create New, type in the name of the file, and then you're going to type in the project name. For inventory type, select Complete. The year will be the year the project begins, and you're going to select your climate region. So for this example, I'm going to select Inland Valleys. Once you're done all that, you select Finish, and several pop-up windows will begin to pop up in just a moment. And you're going to hit Cancel. So define city, you can hit Cancel. These are not necessary. Cancel, and cancel again. On the box that pops up titled User Defined Fields, you're going to select the DBH tab and determine how the trees should be measured. You can either select class, which is or range, or you can select measurement. And in this instance, we're going to select measurement and then inches, and then hit OK. Now once that is done, you're going to go up to the top and select Input, Records, and once that box pops up, you're going to select New, and you're going to go to the Tree Info tab and select your tree species and the DBH of that tree species. Since we chose exact measurement, enter the DBH of the tree 40 years after the project start date. And then you're going to click OK. You repeat this entry for every tree being planted in your project. If you are planting more than one of a species, you can select the duplicate button and it will duplicate your entry. Then select OK. Once you are done entering all the trees to be planted, select Reports, Benefit Cost Analysis, Annual Benefits, and Carbon Stored. This report will give you your information about how much carbon is going to be sequestered in your project. You will take this information and enter it into the GHG emission reduction calculator, which I'll show you in a moment. If your project also features energy reduction use, you will do something similar. You will go back up to Reports, Benefit Cost Analysis, Annual Benefits, Energy, and you will see right here the total electricity that is being reduced for each plant, and you will enter that into the GHG emission reduction calculator as well. On the screen is a completed GHG emission reduction calculator using iTreeStreets. You will see here that there's only one line of entry versus the CTCC, which had multiple, because the CTCC requires an entry per species. Rather, that work is already done for you in iTreeStreets, and you are just entering in the totals from the reports previously shown. Now we will move on to step 3. If your project includes reduced vehicle miles traveled, you will want to go to the tab titled New Bike Ped Infrastructure. The green boxes on this tab are drop-down boxes, as demonstrated here, and the yellow boxes are where you will require entry. Some of the information needed for this tab includes the facility type, and please note that Class 3 lanes are not included in this quantification, so they are not quantifiable. You will also need to know the county your project is located, the project year start, the annual days of operation. The default here is 200, the average daily traffic, the bicycle or pedestrian path length in miles, the population of the city, and the number of activity centers within a quarter mile and a half mile. Now on the screen is a completed calculation done for a project in the city of Los Angeles. Once complete, you will move on to step 4. Once all calculations are complete in the GHG emission reduction calculator, you will go to the tab titled GHG Summary in the Urban Greening GHG emission reduction calculator. Enter the total amount of urban greening funds requested and the total amount of greenhouse gas reduction funds requested. This includes urban greening plus any other programs. So if you're requesting $700,000 from the urban greening program and $500,000 from another greenhouse gas reduction fund program, you will enter $700,000 in the first line and $1.2 million in the second line. This tab will tell you the project's net GHG benefit as well as the net GHG benefit per dollar. Once complete, upload the Urban Greening GHG emission reduction calculator to SOAR as part of your application. And that's it! Here are a few final thoughts. Make sure you read through the quantification methodology completely before you begin any of your calculations. There are a lot of helpful tips in there and information. Make sure you save your work. The application package includes the Urban Greening GHG emission reduction calculator as well as your CTCC or iTrees worksheets and reports. All of that needs to be submitted as well. If you're still confused, please give us a call. You can reach us at 916-653-2812, or you can send us an email at urbangreening@resources.ca.gov. Good luck!